Continuing with the most unbreakable records in multiple different sports, we've done soccer ball, world football. We're not sure exactly what order we're even putting these up, so maybe you haven't even seen it yet.
But they will be waiting, and they will be complaining that we haven't got it up.
They call that a tease. Yes. NBA, time to talk about the most unbreakable records in the NBA. Now, unbreakable, we saw one of which get broken last year, the Bulls' 72-win season. And we're going to probably see one of them get broken this year. Russell Westbrook's averaging a triple-double. Those were two that I would have said a year ago today, nope, not going to get broken. Well, they did. So now you have to dig a little deeper to find what are the records that would still be, we were talking on the soccer clip version of this, conceivably broken, even though they're still going to stand the test of time for, I would think, another couple of years, at least 10 to 15, and which just probably can't get broken. The two that I think can't get broken is Jose Calderon's 98.1% free throw shooting in a season because he just hit the mark for it to count. He had to have like at least 100 free throw attempts, and he's on the lower end. But if you were to translate that over to anybody above 200 free throw attempts, there's just no way. There's just no way. And Wilt Chamberlain averaging 50 points per game in a season. So here's a few of them. Technical fouls in the season actually can't get broken. Go back to that. No, that's good. Go back. There we go. Rasheed Wallace had 41 in the 2000-2001 season. If you get 16 of them, you get suspended. And then every two after that, you get suspended again. So it's actually impossible, I think, to get 41 now. I think the max you can get is 35 before you've lost too many games of play. Free throw percentage in 2008-2009. I mean, is it conceivable to be broken if someone doesn't miss a free throw? Technically, yes. I just find the 98.1% free throw percentage ridiculous. Most points in a single game. A lot of people are going to say, how is that one possibly going to get broken? Kobe did 81, and the person I do think, and there's moments where I think that 100 points can get broken because we've seen just recently Kevin Love get 34 in the first quarter, and guys like Klay Thompson hit 37 in a quarter, and it takes two of those quarters to make it even possible. Kobe's 81, getting to the foul line as many times as he did. There's guys I can see. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Could James Harden conceivably get to 100 points in a game? Yeah, he shoots the three ball pretty damn well, and he gets to the foul line a ton. So if he got hot, hit 15 threes in a game, and got to the line 32 times, a couple mid-range jumpers in there, and all of a sudden you've cracked 100. And there's also double overtime games.
It's the same argument I would make on the contrary, though, is that the sport is a lot different than what it was back then. I'm not saying it wasn't competitive, but nowadays it's a lot of intensity to be able to keep up that level of shooting for 4 quarters than what I think it might have been back then, because you're being guarded by more athletically gifted players who are going to try and shut you down, close as much space, make you work harder for each and every point. Therefore, I think from when in the Chamberlain days, he still would have had to work hard. But this guy was averaging 50 points throughout the season.
He overpowered everybody in the way that Shaq did, but there was nobody who could guard Wilt Chamberlain. He had I shouldn't say no measurable competition, but for his size and stature, he was so ridiculously tall and athletic that at the time there was no other Wilt Chamberlain. There were people who could stop Shaquille O'Neal or at least contain him.
Well, if you put Shaquille O'Neal to the foul line, that was one way to do it, is because he wasn't the best.
That's true too.
Free throw shooter, but I think
he didn't have a 98.1% free throw.
You need to be able to shoot the three ball ridiculously well. Maybe Steph Curry, I would say, is a pretty good shout.
Or
potentially doing this. Yeah, you need to just be on fire, non-stop, consistently getting open, maybe against a team that they're already blowing out, and he just continues to go on. That's the only example I think. I think that players that are going to be a little bit more versatile, go to the rim, change it up, be taken to the foul line, I think they're going to drain themselves out by that point. I think they'll get fatigued. But if you're shooting the three ball well, you could see maybe a Steph Curry getting this, or someone coming along like him.
Yeah, I look at guys like Anthony Davis too that are just that can do so much from so many different parts of the floor. That can shoot the mid-range shot, can hit threes, can get to the foul line and be successful from the foul line.
Yeah.
100-point game is not completely out of the question. 50 points per game over a season is. No one's come close. Kobe was 14.5 points per game away in the mid-2000s when he had a 35.5 point per game season. So you're not even 75% of the way there.
Yeah, that's
in terms of getting to 50 a game. A game.
Of the list you've thrown up, I think that is the most solid. I just can't bring myself to imagine that that's going to be broken.
How about
But the bottom one is where I was going to ask you the question.
which one was the bottom one?
John Stockton.
Yeah, if you pull up the career assist leaders, like I think Chris Paul here's my example. Chris Paul is one of the most gifted point guards and passing point guards. Rajon Rondo is one of the most gifted. They're still going to fall about 5,000 assists short.
But I'm not thinking about my lifetime. I'm just thinking about
the
Unbreakable.
future.
So what I'm thinking in the
Yeah,
future is the way
conceivable.
basketball's been going. I was
course.
looking at some stats. The average game in terms of scoring is far more than what it was back then. So there's
True.
more opportunities to score. There's more baskets that you can assist on. I just think that down the line, if there was any of these that were to be more feasible to go ahead and be broken, I think that would be one of them. Because, again, the game's changing. There's more points being scored. Like, on average, a lot of these games, as we just see, the Golden State Warriors, the majority of their games are in the hundreds.
Here's your list, by the way. Magic Johnson, 10,141 assists. Mark Jackson, 10,334 career assists. Steve Nash, one of the highest scoring offenses of all time, 10,335 career assists.
5,000
Jason
shots, though.
Kidd, 12,091. So he's got almost 4,000 more assists in second place.
It's insane. You
So
need
you
to come straight out of high school, I think, and just have a long, healthy career at the highest
You
level.
have to average like 12 assists a game for like 16 years. Like that level of pass. It's unbelievable that 15,000 assists. 15,806 assists.
I think being a
No rings.
I think the argument I can make back, right? The position you imagine, I'll argue against myself here. The position that you can imagine only being able to contemplate this is a point guard. But nowadays, the point guards are more like
center will do it.
The
Why
point
not?
guards nowadays are more like shooting guards. You cannot survive in the NBA solely being a pass-first point guard. You need to be able to shoot the ball. You need to be able to continue to keep up that high level that Steph Curry and everyone like James Harden's moving to the point guard so that he can get the ball more. So this is the way the game's going. So maybe I just debunked my own argument. I don't know if it could be broken because if you're going to come in and focus just on assisting.
I think if you wanted to stat pad and you said to yourself, I refuse to shoot, I will only pass it and I will go to a team with only good shooters, maybe that would do it. So 0 points per game career, 29.2 assists per game.
I just don't think the environment of the NBA nowadays is going to allow for you to not work on shooting.
What if they change it to the hockey assist, where it's two guys?
You get a double.
Everybody on the Spurs would have 15,000 assists for their career. Every Spurs player. Boris Diaw, 9,000 career assists.
Yeah. So I changed my thoughts. I don't know if it's broken.
Then people say like Wilt Chamberlain's point record. LeBron James is going to be gunning that in 7-8 years. Like that's a conceivably broken record. That could happen. A record that can conceivably be broken. I can't speak English today.
How about Scottish?
Is there really a haggis lift? The haggis ban?
There might be a lift on the haggis ban in the United States.
Why
It's
have we banned Why did we ban haggis?
I don't know, because you guys love to preserve nothing but the righteous and great meat. Fuck off. Have you seen one person put a McDonald's burger through a furnace and it lasted for like 25 days after it?
Was it?
That's the type of, it's probably still good.
Was it good?
Yeah, you guys cannot talk about the quality of meats. I don't know what it is. Maybe you just don't like eating sheep's stomach. You're sheepist.
Is that what haggis is?
Yeah, sheep's stomach.
Unbreakable record, most haggis eaten.
Most haggis eaten in a
1 hour
year.
period.
Not by me, because I'm the only Scotsman apparently that doesn't really like haggis that
Most
much.
unbreakable NBA record. Comment below.